Good morning, E-Huddle. Good morning. My name is Pastor Daniel Hall, and I have the best job in the world of being the local pastor in Columbia, South Carolina. And family, I want to tell you my story, and that's why I'm here. 6 months ago, my conference president called me and said, Pastor Hall, we have a mega church that we want to put you inside of. And family, I was so excited because the conference president told me that there are over 620 members on the books at this church. Okay, now you're starting to catch it. All right, family. The conference president also told me that guess what? This is going to be, this is the highest tithe-paying church in all of South Carolina. And the next thing he said is, Pastor Hall, you're going to be super excited because every single week this church does community outreach. Now, let me just pause here, E-Huddle, and tell you this. Anytime a conference president calls you and tries to oversell the church to you, that means that he is not telling you something that you need to know. Family, let me show you what he was not telling me. On installation Sabbath, when I walked into the 620-member church, guess how many was waiting on me? What he didn't tell me, family, is that this wonderful church at one time that was busing and that was growing had declined. And so, family, he brought me there to see if I could turn it around. Be careful when a conference president calls you and try to oversell a church. Family, what I discovered as I was sitting down with the board members, I said, family, why is it that we do community outreach every single week, but the church is not growing? And they said, well, Pastor Hall, let me tell you what's happening. We have one of the largest food pantry ministries in South Carolina. Matter of fact, hundreds, not even, or even thousands of individuals come to our food pantry ministry. And I said to them, out of all the people that has come through your food pantry ministry, has any of them been baptized? They said no. Huddle, this is why I'm here. I am here to let you know this. We are the Seventh-day Adventist Church, not the Salvation Army. In other words, as a Seventh-day Adventist, we have a responsibility to not only serve people, but we have a three angels message that we got to get out to the people who are dying and let them know that Jesus Christ is coming again. And so if we give out 10,000 diapers, if we give out 100 bags of food, but nobody hears the gospel, then all of our giving was in vain. And so I said to them, listen, we need to come up with a better solution to make sure that we merge service with evangelism. And they gave me the famous line that I'm sure that many of your church members have given you. Well, Pastor, we tried to do this, but Pastor, the government won't allow us to give out their free food and be able to preach the gospel. They said it's called proselytizing. I don't know. I might have butchered that word. And so, family, I said, okay, why don't we come up with a better strategy? And this is what happened. About 6 years ago, I was at Andrews University, and I read a book about this company right here called McDonald's. And if any of you ever know the history of McDonald's, in 1978, McDonald's experienced one of the largest revenue decline in the company's history. The executive tried to revive the company, but it went down. And let me tell you why. Because there was new fast food companies coming into the market, like Wendy's and like Burger King, and all of McDonald's consumers were going to those other fast food chains. So the executive tried to re-innovate the menu. They tried to put new items on the menu, but it didn't work. Nothing worked until they called this man. This man, his name is Bob Bernstein. For those of you that don't know who Bob Bernstein is, he is considered one of the greatest marketing strategists to have ever lived. And McDonald said, Bob, we're dying. We need you to create a product that is so good that it would bring our consumers back to McDonald's. Does anybody want to take a wild guess? What was the product that this guy created that literally it's considered the greatest fast food product ever created in the history of the fast food restaurant? Boom, you got it, the Happy Meal. But this is what Bob said. I need you to hear me. This is what Bob said. It's very important. He said the reason why he created the Happy Meal is because he understands that in today's market, the new decision makers are children. This is important because there was a time in our society, family, when it was the parents who told the child what to do. But we now live in a society where it is the child who runs the home. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And so he said, if you're ever trying to grow an organization, if you're ever trying to grow a company, the first thing that you have to do is you've got to create a product that appeals to the person that people cares the most, that is their children. And so you know what else McDonald's created that most people didn't realize was one of the greatest marketing strategies ever? Anybody remember this? This is what Bob said when he created the playground. He said, the reason why I want to create the playground is because anytime a child sees the M or the McDonald's logo, he wants the child to turn to their parents and say, Mommy, 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 I want to go to McDonald's. I said, in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, what if we can create a product so that on Saturday morning, when kids get up, they would run to their parents' room and say, Mommy, 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 I want to go to church. And here is the secret, because I realized what Bob realized years ago. If we can win the children, they'll bring their parents to church. And if they bring their parents to church, instead of just winning the child, we can win the whole family through the children. And if we win the family, instead of us worrying about baptizing 1 to 2 to 3 people at a time, we can baptize 5 to 6 people, because Bob said, if you win the child, you'll win the whole family. And so, family, I came up with a crazy idea. I didn't know if it was going to work, but it almost got me fired, okay? You guys ready for this? All right, family. It was around the Christmas time. I just got to this church. It was empty. I needed to grow it. And I said, you know what we're going to do? I said, we're going to purchase over 10,000 toys, and we're going to give it out to every children located in Columbia, South Carolina. And family, what I did was I got in that little fellowship hall that they had, and we bought every type of toy imaginable. We bought bicycles. We bought board games. We bought everything. And this is what I did. I created a Facebook ad, and I told all the kids, listen, we're going to give away all of these stuff on this day, but the only twist is that instead of giving it away on a Sunday or a Monday, we were going to give it away on Sabbath morning. Here is why. You see why I almost got fired? Okay, now you're starting to get it. Okay, all right, good. Hey, this is what I said. I said, we're going to invite the whole community to come to church at 11 a.m. on Sabbath morning, and then after church is over, we're going to give all of these toys away to all the people that came. Here was my thought process. I need the people to come, not just for the toys, but I need them to hear the message that I'm going to preach, because hopefully somebody who came for the toys will hear the message and say, I want to give my life to Christ. And family, I wish you were sitting with me on the board whenever we were having this meeting, and two ladies jumped up and said, Pastor Hall, it's not going to work. How dare you desecrate the divine worship hour to help people? Y'all know how church members are. So I said, no problem. I said, let's try it. Family, we tried it. I invited all of these mothers and all of these fathers to come and bring their kids. And you want to know what happened, family? That church was packed. They had come from far and wide to see what was going to happen. And family, 620 people, can you believe it, showed up on this day. Can you believe that, all right? 620. Family, they're in there, and I'm in there, and listen, you can tell they're unchurched. Listen, they got their bonnets on, you see them. They got their hoodies on, you know what I mean? They don't have their church attire. But guess what? They were there to hear the word of God. And so, family, I came and I preached our best sermon that I had. But right before I preached, something strange happened. And that's why I want to talk to you. A mother came up to me and said, Pastor Hall, I have two daughters. And I have not been in church for the last 10 years because I have experienced a lot of church hurt in my past. And they said, Pastor Hall, I just want to know if you could anoint or bless my two daughters right now. I came up with this crazy idea. I said, you know what? Since all of these kids are already here, why don't I just stand up in the pulpit and say, if you have a child that you would like to be blessed, why don't you bring them down to the altar right now? And family, I want to let you know that out of this, I wish I could show you. I'm so sorry, it's so blurry. Over 300 children came down to the altar to be blessed on this day, all because we preached the gospel and met people's needs. Family, when this was all said and done, when it was all over, I gave an appeal and I said, is there anybody that would like to give church and God a second chance? And these mothers, these fathers who brought their kids to get toys, all sat there, heard the word, and over 47 of them said, I want to join this church and I want to be baptized, all because we preached the gospel and we met people's need. I will end the same way I started. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is not the Salvation Army. We do not give out food, clothes, and diapers just to give out food, clothes, and diapers. We have a three angels message that we have to find a way to connect all of this giving that we're doing, because if 10,000 people get all of our food and get all of our clothes and they get all of our love, but they don't know that Jesus Christ is coming again, then our message has went in vain. The message has to be connected. Our service have to be connected in some way. And I know it's not easy. I know it's harder in our society, but we got to find a way to tell them about Jesus as we're giving away all of these things. And family, you watch how the world is going to be transformed. You watch how your church will grow. I want to tell you a quick story. I got 44 seconds. Family, there was a lady that got baptized who came for the toy drive. And family, on Saturday, we elected her to be the new women's ministry leader, all because we met needs and preached the gospel. And so she's going to be helping us all because of that. This is what happens when you preach the gospel and meet people's needs. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, guys.